Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you this special bulletin. In the realm of entertainment, in this case, video games, it's very difficult to find a truly 100% original idea. Everything takes inspiration from other games, whether it's PUBG versus Fortnite or the like, any other sort of battle royal game, or well, any D&D game versus any other dungeon crawling turn-based game or any other survival game. It's difficult to, find something original. Little tweak here, little tweak there. It seems like everyone gets inspiration from somewhere, and when one particular inspiration becomes vastly more popular, the previous iterations feel like they've been slighted, and here we are again, much like Nintendo versus Pal World. We have, Drug Dealer Simulator 1 and 2 versus Schedule 1. This little article from Insider Gaming, Schedule 1 being investigated for IP copyright infringement claims. And my first thought was, you jealous much? Because how much difference can there be if you're an independent individual, a single individual, and you see a game, you go, I want to try making that myself. How many differences can there be? But let's get to the article. Nothing brings momentum to a screeching halt quicker than legal action, unless, of course, you bring out some popularity for the game, bring the game further and further into the light, and cast a rather nasty reputation on yourself when you take these legal actions against an independent content creator or an independent video game creator, publisher, developer. Anyway, this is the prospect Schedule 1 is facing. Almost 500,000 concurrent players on Steam at the max. Is facing as it's being deemed in too similar to movie games essays. Drug Dealer Simulator 1 and 2 franchise, prompting a full investigation into the game. Honestly, looking at a few things, I can't really blame movie games, but at the same time, you'll see what I mean, how they're coming across. Whereas people were hyping themselves up for Warzone's Verdansk or continuing to enjoy the success of Assassin's Creed Shadows, Steam indie title Schedule 1 was out here dominating, and boy, was it ever. Take a quick look. I skipped ahead. Where is it? I lost it. 412,000 players at peak, 329,000 in the 24-hour peak as of time of recording, 228,000 people playing at this time as of an hour ago. Pretty darn successful, if you ask me. Steam indie title to read that already. The game is about making and dealing drugs. Oh, what an original idea. However, could they have come up with that? Basic concept. It's a simulator game. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of simulator games, whether it's a comic book store simulator, a grocery store simulator, a design store simulator. There are originals, there are copies, there are inspirations out there, one after another, but coming across as maybe the only reason movie games is upset is because of the massive popularity, at least at first glance. This is apparently appealing as Schedule 1 hit a peak over 400,000 players and continuing to bring in wheelers and dealers each day. I've played the game, it's fun. Everything was going great. Everything was all fine and dandy. Multiplayer, 2 players playing at the same time. My oldest is actually playing the game, which he's having a good time with his friends, and I'm going to try to get a couple of my friends to play it as well, maybe even on stream. Who knows? On April 3rd, publisher Movie Games SA demanded an investigation into TVG's Schedule 1. Oh, dearie my. Evidence in the investigation surfaced on the website featuring a document entitled Movie Games SA 17/2025 decision to commence investigation against the creators of Schedule 1 production for claims regarding infringement. Can you copyright a concept of a game? Can you? I don't think you can. Of the issuer's IP and related to committing an act of unfair competition against it. You are jealous. That statement, unfair competition. How can competition be unfair? Let me know. Movie Games SA has its own series of drug dealing games. Am I going to get in trouble for saying drug dealing on this video? Drug dealing. Drug Dealer Simulator 1 and Drug Dealer Simulator 2. I guess we'll find out. While the name is more overt in its goal, yeah, I like Schedule 1's inventive name, Drug Dealer Simulator, pretty cut and dry. You know what you're getting. Both titles have attracted thousands of players respectively. Yeah, 1 and 2. Legal document mentions potential infringement of the issuer's intellectual property rights to the concept of a game. And activities that may bear the characteristics of unfair competition have been identified. Ergo, Schedule 1 is too similar to Drug Dealer Simulator series. Similar to the Nintendo's lawsuit with Pal World. Similar to other lawsuits that fell flat on their faces. Proceedings began as soon as Schedule 1 released on March 24th, so maybe perhaps it's not the high player count. Maybe they genuinely do feel, they're not necessarily jealous, maybe they do genuinely feel that they are copying them, drawing a little too much inspiration. Decide that for yourself, folks. I guess the courts will decide. Quote, a comparative analysis of the company's IP, which includes MN. What does that mean? Tell me. M.in. Something including or not including, perhaps including Drug Dealer Simulator and Drug Dealer Simulator 2 and the Schedule 1 project. The investigation is strongly looking into, quote, elements of the game's plot, mechanics, as well as UI user interface. Now, that one got me interested. I went and looked up a few screenshots before we get to the screenshots. Ultimately, let's see, the issue will immediately inform about further actions related to the pursuit of claims regarding the infringement of the issuer's IP and the act of unfair competition and subsequent current reports. Continue to monitor. This will be something to monitor for sure. But as far as the popularity of one over the other, if we go over here on the Steam charts, well, Simulator 1 only had a little over 7,000. Now, Simulator 2 was a bit more popular, having over 9,000 players at all-time peak. However, that is nothing in comparison to Schedule 1. What made Schedule 1 far more popular? They're essentially the same game. Concept, inspiration, easily. No doubt, Schedule 1 got inspiration from Drug Dealer Simulator. But that's like saying Neverwinter Nights on PC got inspiration from Dragon Quest 1 or Dragon Warrior on the NES. Of course it did. It's an adventure, turn-based dungeon crawler where you go out and you kill monsters. It's all similar because inspiration, we have very few original titles, and that's fine. One's going to be more popular than the other. But after that other statement, I went and started digging up some screenshots, and I can kind of see where they're getting it from. So I don't know how much difference you can have from one simulator game to another. They're all going to look the same, but you have Grow Box versus Grow Box, and then you have your nice little setup here in Drug Simulator, and then you have your setup in Schedule 1. But let's keep going. Again, we're going to make these decisions for ourselves. We'll argue back and forth, saying that Movie Games is just jealous of the popularity. They're trying to do a cash grab. That's going to be for the courts to decide, and who knows where the courts will go. And, of course, interaction with other people, with other NPCs in the game, coming up and asking them how much different can those be when you're just talking to someone. And all the way down to the preparing the product for sale. It's all very similar, but again, how much difference can there actually be when you have two simulation games going over the same, the same environment? Both of these games are simulator games, Drug Dealer Simulator games. One is just titled that exactly. Will the courts decide? Of course the courts are going to decide. We'll have to wait and see. We got a whole bunch of wait and see going on right here. Personally, I don't think they have a leg to stand on, but I are not an attorney. Obviously, I'm not smart enough for that. Maybe I am. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Just more drama in the entertainment industry to talk about. Have you played any of the Drug Simulator games? Have you checked out Schedule 1? It's fun. It's $20 on Steam. It's fun. I recommend it. Loads of fun. And it's make-believe. You ever wanted to try that for yourself and shoot people? No, don't do. Well, you can also go play Grand Theft Auto because I think they did that. They did the same thing in one of their games. I saw a comment like that. But I'm going to stop rambling. Y'all let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Leave a like, leave a dislike. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, please. I'm going backwards on that part, but hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.